Well, this is the reality of AEW, and on the topic of AEW, Jim, let's go to some other surprising AEW news this past week. Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp reported that QT Marshall has returned to AEW in the, I believe, the same vice president role he previously held last year. He's not scheduled to return as in-ring talent, but he will be returning to the vice president role and free to wrestle elsewhere at the same time, with the exception of WWE, some CMLL, AAA kind of action going on there.
Well, what last year? It was 2 months ago. It was last year. That's when he left, right? And he's coming back as same play.
He had a problem with the direction of the company and he left, and within 4 months they brought him back.
But and that's the thing, is he wanted to concentrate more on his wrestling career than being an executive. So now in 4 months, he's concentrated on his wrestling career and he's coming back to be an executive.
And I guess we'll tie it in with this story I saw this week that Rocky Romero has now been hired to be something backstage, a producer of some sort, a wrestling producer of some quality backstage.
How come all the wrestling producers don't get to tell Tony Khan what wrestling looks like? Because they're not all crazy.
You know, that's one of the problems. Usually a wrestling producer, is someone who loves the wrestling business. They're really happy to still be involved with it because there are very limited jobs, especially from major league companies, or well-paying jobs. They're happy to be involved with it. But there's just a constant frustration when you have to deal, whether it was Vince McMahon at his peak of craziness or Tony Khan, who they're insistent on their vision being what their production will be, and they can't really cede any ground to that. And, I'm sure there's plenty of people there who can help.
I'm not going to throw a blanket of endorsement on everybody because who knows these days what somebody may fucking spout off and think is proper wrestling, and it would make me shiver to my core. But there are a few and have been in the past names there that have a long experience in wrestling and were well thought of in the ring in their day, and you can't find any of that influence in 90% of you can in FTR, you could in Punk, obviously, you could in certain people, but mostly you can't find any of that influence, either in terms of the actual in-ring, bumps and moves, or the psychology of when and why to do same and what the fuck, or get over his personalities, or just get the match over as something more than endless repetition, the whole 9 yards. And in what other line of work or endeavor or sport or whatever do you have the experienced coaches trying to tell people that are the current players or performers or whatever how to do the shit, and they don't fucking do it? I don't understand.
Well, welcome back, QT. You're not going to be on TV. That may be a positive. You could just focus on your executive duties. And you know what? I could say after watching TV the last several weeks, we missed the QT Marshall era of writing TV.
Was that... I mean, if this has been the lack of his influence, maybe they need him more than we thought. Because is Tony on his own now, or this is
Jimmy
Tony
Jacobs? He's got Jimmy Jacobs.
Oh, good Lord! Never had a problem with Jimmy Jacobs, for heaven's sake. So I don't want to lambaste him until we know how much exertion Tony is putting into this thing. But somebody needs to, if it's possible, sit him down and try to halfway smarten Tony up.
Well, we shall see if it's QT Marshall or someone else. One of the areas he's had to need some help. That's awful English, ladies and gentlemen. One of the areas where Tony could have used some help over a long period of time, and maybe currently, is with merch. They had a lot of hot acts at different points.
Yeah.
People were ready to buy merch.
Yeah.
Merch just wasn't there. Wasn't available at these shows where people had the money in their hand wanting to spend it.
Wasn't even there.
Maybe Tony could take some time away from all of his busy booking work and start a new online store, and he could power it with our friends at Shopify.
Well, that's right, because, he made the mistake of not letting professionals handle another aspect of his business. And as a result, things went to hell in a handbasket, as Mama Cornette used to say. And that doesn't have to be the case for you folks out there. If you've got a business, if you'd like an online presence, if you would like to sell more of your merchandise more profitably and easily, then you need the Owl-powered All-Star. I'm sorry, that's AI, I'm being told. The AI-powered All-Star Shopify and their Shopify Magic and all of their various Shopify sections that power... What are you laughing about? They've got incredible amounts of various departments. They've got the Shopify Magic. They've got Shopify. They've got their single dashboard. They've got they generate instant fact answers to fact questions. And they will grow your average order value with Shopify bundles. That's another, and Shopify Collective. They've got all kinds of Shopify departments for whatever you want to do to make people all over the world get on the internet and send you money. And you don't even have to be a Nigerian prince or some type of person trying to smuggle money into the country. You can do it the old-fashioned way, capitalism. Because Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From I'm starting a business stage, to the I'm selling stuff stage, to I've made a fortune stage, to, oh my God, the government is after me for all these back taxes stage. Well, Shopify don't know your ass then, I'll tell you that. But you should have taken care of that before you started out. Anyway, folks, right now, in these uncertain times, in this trying atmosphere of the world we find ourselves in, you got to have something to fall back on. So start selling stuff on the internet. Look at me. I don't leave the house now. I don't have to fucking associate with you cretins out there because I sell stuff on the internet. And you can too. Because all you got to do is go to shopify.com/JCE, all lowercase on that JCE, and you can sign up for a $1 a month trial period. $1 a month. Oh my God. That's cheaper than a lemonade stand would charge for rent. You could rent a lemonade stand and it would cost you more money than it would to just sign up for a $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/JCE to grow your business, because after you go to shopify.com, they tell you everything. They say, here's what we can do for you, which is everything. And you're going to be taking money in like the federal government in no time at all. And the best part of it is, if you get arrested in some way, they'll bail you out of prison with the money that they've taken in.
No.
Because, well, see, with that Shopify, what is it? The Shopify hold on.
No, there's no Shopify bail bondsman.
I lost it. No, it's the Shopify Collective. That's where you can sell other people's stuff. And there may be a risk to that. I still don't know how they let you do that. But they'll bail you out if something happens. Anyway, $1 a month trial period. That's what we're talking about, right, Brian? $1 a month.
That's
a mere
right.
3.3 cents. No, 3 cents. Well, how would you determine that? How many pennies per day?
We were so close to being done with this when you decided to dive into math.
All righty. Well, shopify.com/JCE, pennies per day.
But you can make as much as you can make with whatever stuff you're allowed to sell legally.
Well, yes, there's no limit on what you can make, but it only costs you pennies a day to sell it.
All right, well, that's Shopify. Check them out. Let them know where you heard about them.
Well, maybe feel them out first before you mention our name.
That's right, and when you're done feeling them up, we got a few more things to get through.
No, not
today.
feeling them up, feeling them out.
What did I say? I thought that's what I said.
Feeling them up.
Oh, you're a pervert.